My husband Wake and I have been leading groups all over the world to different indigenous sites. We've been leading classes and circle after circle, many of them in our home, month after month, in different communities. And it's been a really powerful thing for each of us to learn in our own self-growth, our own personal work. This work today is mainly for people who are beginning to lead circles, but also for people who are in circles. It might be interesting to hear some of the things that are important for people in the circle. They will apply. First of all, we are talking about facilitating a spirit circle. We've really started to take that word on rather than using language like the leader of the circle or the teacher of the circle. And that's made a big difference for people in their sense of intimacy in the group, their sense of just the nature of circles versus the nature of hierarchy. Everyone in the circle is considered an equal person, no matter what their experience is, no matter what they've done in their life, no matter what they're coming from, what their background is, what their age is. There's an assumption made that everyone who comes into the circle is there and that we have all brought each other together for the purpose of our own personal growth. Safety in the circle tends to be what helps circles to last and actually provide the medicine that a circle provides. So what's the medicine? The medicine or benefits or gifts for the circle would be different for each person. And it changes as the rattle goes around. As the speaker, if it's your turn to speak and you're speaking about what's going on in your life and what's going on with your personal growth, the benefit is that you get to put into words and you get to hear for yourself how that's living in you. And putting it into words is a very important part of a spiritual journey. It also allows you to be witnessed. So you're not just saying this to the mirror, you're not just saying it in your room in your meditation, you're actually being witnessed. And it's interesting how that changes things, or how you might even perceive what you're saying. You might need to correct what you're saying for it to be feel like it's more clear or more correct. And that's a really valuable process on the spirit path. When I'm listening as people are going around sharing, I'll notice that spirit is talking to me through what other people are saying. So I'm collecting messages as people speak around in a circle. When they're tapping into their spirit journey, when they're really dropping in and being authentic and maybe a little vulnerable, it's amazing the messages I hear from spirit at those times. Maybe I'll hear one or two in an evening, maybe I'll hear more than that. But I found that for the listener, there is much to be learned by being the listener. For the facilitator, it's interesting. I think it's really multiple gifts for the facilitator. Most of those will reflect in their own personal work, because it'll be an opportunity to have to be humble in the group, to recognize our own mistakes as we go along, to have compassion with ourselves if something doesn't turn out the way we thought it would. And there's many things to learn. So as the speaker, we're encouraging this use of this I voice, that I speak my own experience into the circle. And that keeps it very clean. It keeps it very clear for the listener. So the listener is able to hear what you're saying rather than getting caught up in the mires of shoulds and shouldn'ts and we all believes and those kinds of things. So just it keeps it very clean and clear when we speak from our own voice. As a facilitator, we might need to help assist people in that transition as they're first learning how to be in a circle. We really want to speak cleanly, clearly with people who are there present in the group and hold that grace for each person, whether they're here today in the circle or not. So you really want to create an environment where each person is valued equally, where there's confidentiality, where there is this speaking from an I voice, and everyone is held with respect in the way we speak to each other and about each other, that it's held in respect. So creating safety in a circle is one of the things that will help the circle be more powerful to each other. It'll help them to be more vulnerable, which will create more intimacy in the circle itself. So safety is really a priority. And the pace of safety is set absolutely from the facilitator. It can be furthered greatly by different members who have different skills also, and yet the facilitator is going to hold sort of the level of safety that the group will experience. So if you're feeling called to be a facilitator at this point in your medicine, I really encourage you, because it's such a special growing experience. It's very gratifying to facilitate and create a safe space for people to share together, to become intimate and deep, but it's also really, really powerful for your own work, your own medicine, learning how to be humble, learning how to say, oh, I messed that up, and start again, learning how to bring your curiosity into the group, how to ask questions that will help, and your humor. Those are powerful gifts that grow as we learn to facilitate. And most of all, be compassionate with yourself while you're learning, and know that your gifts will grow and grow and grow. Your ways with words will grow. Your way of holding a sacred space will grow. You'll be able to be more compassionate with yourself and learn to be more compassionate with others.